Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Beaumont Bulletin. Before we begin our deep dive on Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, we'd like to make a special announcement. Following Georgia's announcement of their recount certifying Biden's victory in the state, we at the Beaumont would like to congratulate Joe Biden on winning the 46th United States presidency. Again, for the 27th time this week. Sadly, on September 18th of this year, the United States lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She left behind a legacy that changed America for the better, and most importantly, she made strides for the fight of equal rights for women. We hoped with her passing, her successor would continue to build on the foundation that she laid, but instead, they nominated a wrecking ball whose sole purpose seems to be to tear it all down. While Amy's educational background is quite impressive, her handshake and LinkedIn profiles, well, they leave a lot to be desired. The bulk of her professional experience was spent working as a college professor, standing in front of a room filled with hungover law students for about 15 years. Her only courtroom work consisted of her time spent at the United States Court of Appeals from 2017 to 2020. To give you some perspective on that, Bob Odenkirk has spent more time in a courtroom than she has. RBG had 6 landmark cases on gender equality in front of the Supreme Court, as well as 13 years on the Court of Appeals. ACB has had 0 cases in front of the Supreme Court and has spent nearly 3 years on the Court of Appeals. It's like comparing Michael Jordan to Jackie Moon. Many are concerned about Amy Coney Barrett's religious affiliations and how that will impact her decision-making on the Supreme Court. But never fear, general populace. Amy wants you to know that she will never let her faith change her mind.
If you're asking whether I take my faith seriously, and I'm a faithful Catholic, I am, although I would stress that my personal church affiliation or my religious belief would not bear on the discharge of my duties as a judge.
Now, this is an awfully rigid stance coming from Amy, who, according to Susan Collins, tends to take a wishy-washy stance on important matters. A quality we're sure is perfectly suited for running the highest court of justice in the entire nation. Let's see if Susan was right.
I don't think the core case, the Rose core holding that, women have a right to an abortion, I don't think that would change. But I think the question of whether people can get very late-term abortions, how many restrictions can be put on clinics, I think that would change.
Okay, there it is. But don't worry, everyone. As stated earlier, Amy will certainly not allow her Catholic upbringing or membership in the People of Praise, a group that believes life begins at conception, to affect her decision on Roe v. Wade at all. Though some Democrats are quite worried.
So many of us on this side have this very uncomfortable feeling that, dogma and law are 2 different things.
Despite her inability to do so herself, it seems conservatives have already made up their mind about Amy, hailing her as a sexy saint sent to change the world for the better. They have since knighted her with the respectful and definitely not objectifying title of Slamey Barrett. Does that sound too gross to be true? Yeah, I was hoping for the same thing.
The ongoing confirmation hearings of smoking hot Judge Amy Coney Barrett are raising some very important constitutional questions. For instance, exactly how stupid do you have to be to become a Democrat senator? The question arose after the cutie pie and also judge endured somewhere between 9 and 1,100 hours of questioning.
Okay, there you have it, folks. Amy Coney Barrett, a religious fanatic sexualized by thousands of men old enough to be wearing diapers, with courtroom experience equivalent of someone who just bought an Ace Attorney game. And on top of all this, she still has the confidence and train of thought reminiscent of a certain confused toddler.
Have you ever had dreams that you could